This is Let's Talk About Magnum PI, the podcast from fans for fans of Magnum PI.
Hello, everyone. We're back for a new episode, and we're back for a new rewatch.
Yes. Yay! We're doing 107.
Yes, the cat who cried wolf.
Yes. Featuring Mittens the cat.
Mr. Mittens.
Mr. Mittens.
I always want to be polite about that cat. It's Mr. Mittens. And Max.
And Max.
Who I suspect is the same cat.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably just put a bunch of dye on his paws and
Yeah.
called him Max.
Yeah, because why would you cast two very similar looking cats?
Yeah, when you don't need to.
Yeah. Oh, weird. The opening. Holy, that is one spectacular opening.
Yeah, that's what grabbed me the first time. I remember, the first time and this time watching it, being like, whoa, yeah, that was intense. And it's just like, I think it's basically just 30 seconds of fire and Magnum pretty much drowning, and then we get the theme music, which, again, is very out of character for a Magnum episode. Normally we get quite a bit more before the music.
We get a full theme, usually.
Yeah. This time it was just like, let's cut to the chase. We're going in for the action right away.
Yeah. Except that action itself is, if you look at it, not really what the episode's about.
Not really. You're right. It has its moments, though.
Yeah.
It has its action-packed moments, for sure. But you're right. The action is not the center.
Oh, I was referring to that specific action. Like, that's the tiny little bit of the episode, not necessarily the episode.
Yeah, I was thinking in general, too. There's action, but it's not crazy amounts, I guess you could say.
And we know he's feeling much worse than he looks. That guy's been through the ringer in that episode.
I mean, it does start with him getting woken up by Kumu on Higgins' behalf for his shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we'll get to at the end, but one of my favorite parts of an episode ever.
The Aloha shirt.
Yes. And just everything it represents, and the little note. But we will get there. I'm jumping ahead, Sorry.
Speaking of jumping ahead, let me just jump ahead a few seasons and point out Magnum is a weird person in terms of what even is his sleeping position at this point.
It's so true. It's like
season 1, he's a hugger. And then he turns around in his bed, and then I don't even know what's that one where he woke up screaming. Well, not screaming, but in a cold sweat.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly has his moments with positions. That guy's moving in the bed.
Yeah. He's like what my mom used to call like a Mexican jumping bean at night, because I would not stay still. It's an expression that we have.
I've never heard that. So
you've never heard that expression? No. Yeah, it's like a very like Canadian American expression, I guess. It's like somebody who like can't stop moving, and you refer to them as like the Mexican jumping bean, and it's like
the fact that we refer to Jay Hernandez as good bean at points. It's kind of fitting, even
a little.
specific to. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. I'll also never heard of it.
Google it. It's a thing, I swear.
Bean is.
I say it's probably comes from some
cooking
old myth
thing. It's probably a cooking thing.
Let me see. While we think about the next parts of the episode, I will quickly Google that, because I can. And this is why I keep my phone with me when we record it, because we want to look up something mean.
Yeah. We are trying to stay ahead of things. We have our phones in case something happens online. So if there's any spoilers, we'll know, even as we record. But then again, we record a day early, usually. So there might be stuff we're missing between Saturday and Sunday. Unless there's other stuff happening that we're still missing. We have to postpone.
Till the next episode.
Or, record early. Looking at you, Liz.
It's very early for you right now.
Again, yeah, that's the second week in a row where recording is quite early for me, and it's not going to be the last week in a row.
Yeah, I think
so. Next time it's my fault.
Yeah, this time it's my fault. Next time it's your fault.
Last time it was all for William.
Yeah, because time zones are a thing.
Shout out to Mr. Naddles. I think I know you're going to be listening. Hi.
So yeah, Mexican jumping beans are seeds that have been inhabited by larvae. Ew. By a moth, a larva of a small moth, and are native to Mexico. The bean is usually tan to brown. It jumps when mildly heated, and that's why they are referred to as a jumping bean.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's something. That really is something. Wow.
Weird fact of the week.
A Mexican jumping bean is the bean inhabited by moth larvae.
Pretty much. And there you go.
Wow.
But I think the point is that it moves a lot, and that's where I was going with it.
Under heat, which again kind of applies to Hawaii.
It does. It does. It has its hot days for sure.
It has more hot days than hot days. Hawaii has hot day. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also true. There's going to be a lot of hot dates on Hawaii. So,
yep.
And weddings.
I mean, who wouldn't want to go to like a beautiful tropical wedding and have a great time on a hot date in Hawaii?
I would love to have my wedding on Hawaii. I also don't want to get married, so there's that. A wedding on Hawaii without legally getting married. That's my thing.
That's a go. You can come to my wedding. I'll get married in Hawaii.
Okay. So I'll come to your wedding.
But yeah, going back to Jay and sleeping positions.
The hugger in his sleep.
Yeah. So we see that, and then we see the dogs having the obedience lesson with Klaus. I love that scene. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is definitely an hilarious scene, but at the same time, kind of Higgy, what are you thinking?
Kind of mean.
Kind of mean, totally mean. Also, dear Mr. Magnum, he later asks her if she can train them to attack, be aggressive. Why can't she train them to like him? That's not how animals work.
And that's what she says. They're animals, Magnum.
Yeah, but like she can train them to like him, but she can train them to tolerate him.
Yeah. And I think we're sort of moving in that direction, I would like to say. I mean, they still antagonize him. We've seen, they chase him up.
I think they always will, because they get a rise out of him every single time.
Exactly, and that's part of it. Like, they're just, they're playing fetch with him, basically.
He's a giant toy.
Exactly. And he runs, and it's their exercise, and obviously Higgy doesn't do anything to stop it because she thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, but I think if all the stars align, we might actually see them being civil to Magnum a little bit while she's away.
I think we're not going to have a choice but to see that, because
he's now currently their can opener. So you don't chase your can opener, do you?
And, they're going to have to learn to coexist, because he is not going to be there for at least a little bit, which, again, we'll talk about a little later in the show in the spoiler section, because we do have a little bit of news on that. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think if the stars align, we will see some moments between
Hopefully.
them. Hopefully it won't just be, Kumu taking care of them and Magnum being completely separated.
Chased by them once
It
again.
would be really cool to see Magnum running for his life like in the olden days and just have Kumu be the one to be like, ah, there he goes again. Gotta go save his butt,
Except, does she have the power to save his butt? She's
That's
not
we
their
don't know.
mistress. I would really love to see what happens if he really lets them catch him.
Yeah.
Based on this episode, I would say they would actually go for him.
Yeah.
I think though in later episodes,
attack.
hopefully not as much.
No, I feel like they're trained enough to know, like, to recognize a threat, like a real threat versus a fake threat, So I feel like they could catch him 100%, even though he's gotten away from them in the past. I do think that they could easily catch him, but then would they go to the extent of tearing him limb from limb? No.
Here's the thing that I initially, before rewatching it, thought about that obedience training. It's obedience training. You like he said, you can train the dogs. What if? So my initial thought, I'm not on that team at the moment due to the rewatch. What if she just tried to train them to, even though they fucking hate them, that scent, yeah, don't bite it.
Yeah, it's highly possible. It's highly possible because we only saw the part where they were, attacking.
Yeah, but she kept being like, good boy, good boy. So
yeah, but we don't know what the rest of the training session was, right? Like, for all we know, there could have been another training session where she was like, don't attack unless I tell you, like, yes, chase him. He's a moving toy, but don't actually hurt him.
Yes, you can play with him, but you cannot damage the goods.
And I honestly do think that if they ever did catch him and they ever actually did, like, damage, quote unquote, she would feel horrible. Like, for all the times that we saw her laugh about them chasing him and all the times that she was like, good boys for chasing him, I do think that if anything ever happened to him because of the dogs, she would feel awful.
I think so too. Also due to the fact that these boys are highly, highly trained. Obviously the dogs behind the dogs are definitely 100% highly trained, but the dogs in character are highly trained too. So you'd imagine that they would be specifically trained to not hurt Magnum. So yeah, she would probably be like, I fucked up the training there. Maybe I should have been more specific with them about not biting the Magnum. But then again, at the same time, Thomas Magnum is not the type of person to be essentially very sensitive towards the dogs. So there's a certain extent to where I can see him just fucking up. And this is where my dog lover, I don't own dogs, but my cousin does own dogs, and I've been around well-trained dogs where my dog lovers have self comes about. You do make mistakes with these dogs, and their only way of communication in certain situations is to snap at people. Yeah. And I am to this day so proud of my little cousin. I think she was 12 or something at that point, where she got on the nerves of her dog, tiny little thing, and she annoyed him very badly, and he bit her. And apparently, I wasn't there, but apparently she very much defended the dog, saying, I did the mistake. There was no other way he could have told me to stop. And so you always got to keep in mind that it's a form of communication for these animals as well.
And they're animals, right? They're even if they're well trained, they're still very unpredictable. I mean, we say that about my dog all the time. We're like, he's a great dog. He's good in the house. He's good with people, but he's still a dog, right? Like, they're still like, they're not human. They don't have, like you said, the same form of communication that we do. They don't have the same, like,
social
capacity
bonds
for things, right? The same responses. Like, it, again, they're just animals. And again, that's, again, what Higgins said, she's like, they're animals, Magnum, right? But obviously she meant it sarcastically, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not necessarily sarcastically. It's then again, I don't understand sarcasm. I'm like this Sheldon Cooper type who literally needed someone to hold up a sign in the past.
Yeah.
Genuinely, there was a sign at my former workplace. There was a cat hat shaped sign. Whenever someone was sarcastic, someone was like, just so Eve can see someone's being sarcastic, because chances are she doesn't understand it again.
I can tell you that Higgins was being quite sarcastic. That's when she's like, the animals, Magnum. Like, she's like,
I took that at face value and I was like, yeah, obviously the animals, they can't be trained like that.
Yeah, I got a little bit of sarcasm from it, but I guess it could be either way.
I mean, Higgins is a very sarcastic person, after all.
I mean, yeah.
And she and Magnum rub each other that way.
They grate each other, to be exact.
Yeah. This episode is very much about animals, isn't it? Mittens, Mr. Mittens. I like Mr. Mittens. He's a cute cat.
He's adorable. Mm-hmm. Adorable. And the little girl, too. The one that, like, owns the cat. She's like,
Cecilia.
I will pay, Cecilia. She's like, I will pay you in full to find Mittens.
Yeah.
And he's so good to her, with her, too. Like, he does everything he can to make her feel good, and everything he can to, like, give her hope that he will find Mittens. Yeah. And it just shows, again, that he'll be such a good father.
Yes, that guy is good with kids. I really love the fact that he does that, and other PIs, I'm certain every other PI in the island would not have bothered with that case, because
God, no.
He didn't make any money at all, because he got that kid a stuffed kitten and got 50 cents in return. So, he lost money on that.
Unless the mother actually paid, because she did mouth at one point, I'll pay you. But I don't know if she did or not.
We didn't see it. We certainly didn't see it.
It's true. It did seem like he never got paid. He's like, hey, I got paid in full, right? Referring to the 50 cents.
Yeah, so... in the end, he got paid in full. 50 cents. That's just 25 cents per day. But I was just like that. Yo, Isabel, tip him.
Yeah. Give him something.
You just spent 2 days looking for your daughter's cat. Tip the guy.
Do something. Goodness gracious.
I mean, they fed him. So that's
cookies.
Good. While he fed the cat and the dog and the chicken and the rat. Yeah. So, yeah. Also, other PIs would have walked out of that situation thanks to the sneezing and allergy part. But not Thomas Magnum. He cares more about that kid.
He cares about his client, and that's what matters to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he says it, he's like, I'm doing it for my client, and this is the case, and I don't care if it's a ridiculous, missing cat case. I will do it because I want to help. Right?
It's ridiculous for everybody but Cecilia.
Yeah.
For her, it's an important case because it's her cat, and you can see that kid is slightly obsessed with her cat.
It means something to her, right?
That cat means a lot to her.
Yeah, it definitely means a lot.
And Thomas saw that, so.
And the mom said so, right? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, he obviously saw it before the mom said something, but yeah. Can we also talk about how much we can tell that Higgins cares about Magnum in this episode?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When he gets hit by the car and she's like, Magnum!
Oh,
she genuinely cares, like...
There was even a moment before that.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy pushes him. That was quite the panicked yell from her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, both times. And I think that really shows.
By the way, I really, really appreciate him being hit by a car.
Yep.
For reasons of 5-0 fan, we just spent, well, at that point, we spent 9 seasons of 5-0 running after the bad guys and not being hit by a car. One time it was pretty close, or 2 times it was pretty close. But usually they get off nicely.
Pretty scat-free.
But they run into weirdest situation, oncoming traffic. Finally, it happened that they got hit by a car because they were dumb enough to run into traffic without, looking left or right to see if there's a bloody car.
Yep.
I feel like it was a long time coming. It's just bad that it was in season 1 for Magnum.
It was a long time coming, though, for real. What else was I going to say? Going back to the Higgy caring, when she brings him the antihistamine in the car and wants to be part of the case, like, it's more than just, I'm bringing the antihistamine so you don't have an allergic reaction. It's, I also want to be part of this case because I care about what happens, And I care about what happens to you, kind of thing.
I got the vibe that she's very bored.
Me too.
I mean, she sat in the pool with her feet in the pool, doing a crossword puzzle at breakneck speed and eating at the same time. That woman looked extremely bored to me.
She did, and I think that scene too was just showing just how smart she is too, right? Yeah. Like the fact that she can just go like with her keyboard and get everything right. It's like you knew Higgins was smart before, but now you're just like she's a fucking genius. Like you're like this woman is capable of like incredible things, and here she is being the major domo of the estate, which is not to diminish what she does as major domo, but considering
it's not where her initial skill set is.
Exactly. She's more of a like let's go kick some ass kind of thing.
In more ways than one.
What else?
Coming back to Thomas and animals, how in what world is it easy to pick up a cat? That was like my initial reaction, like, why?
Yeah, he just comes up with the cat.
To that cat, pick it up. What's wrong with that cat?
Yeah.
I mean, apparently nothing, but at the same time, there's a stranger coming up to a cat and he can just pick it. What?
Yeah. Yeah, the cat doesn't run away, like. Because listen, I've had cats too, and I could barely pick up my own cat. So, like, what you're saying about it being a stranger's cat is like, yeah, the chances that will happen is, like 0.
I never had a cat.
No?
I always wanted a cat, never had one. I can't have one right now. I tried. I had a little kitten here for like half a day. But someone was very panicked in the presence of a cat. So I'm like, little Tommy, my hedgehog, was here first, so cat had to leave again.
Aww.
Not that I didn't officially adopt him yet, by the way.
Home visit.
It was just like checking out if these two get along. Because I wasn't going to adopt the kitten if these two don't get along for obvious reasons, right? I was right to be like, I get to
skeptical
if they are matching, and they didn't. Yeah, my dream of having a cat is postponed to the future.
There'll always be cats.
And I'm still going to be very prepared for the fact that this is not how you can approach cats and just pick them up as a stranger.
Yeah, no.
In what world?
You can't. You literally can't.
Yeah.
Ay.
And he's so worried about that cat.
He is. Oh, yeah, with all the blood, he's like, oh, buddy.
Quite good with that cat. I kept thinking, like, how clever is it, Thomas, for you to keep petting the cat, even though you're, like, deadly allergic to that thing. But you keep petting it because apparently you like cats, even though you're allergic to them.
And he's just like, one would think if you're allergic to the cat, you would not sit there petting it the whole time. And he literally pets it. Like when she comes in to like do the tracking collar thing, and he's like, pet.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, you're allergic. Like,
keep your hands to yourself. This is how you get the cat thing. Saliva, is it that you're allergic to?
It can actually be the saliva, I think, or the dandruff, depending on the allergy.
So in any case, you get what you're allergic to onto your hand.
But I'm gonna say that's one inconsistency that I found in this episode. The other inconsistency, I don't know if you noticed it, but when they're doing that chase scene, when they're chasing the guy that pushed Magnum out of the way in the house, and Higgins is running, you see she's wearing high heels, and then you do peek her blue runners at one point.
I did not notice it. Yeah. I did not notice it. Wow, that's cool. I gotta rewatch it again now.
And you can see it. I think it's this episode. Yeah, it's this episode, I'm pretty sure. Because how many episodes would she run like through a backyard like that? Yeah, no, it's this one.
Plenty.
But I think it is this one. And you can see it, like, it's, I think, I can't remember at what point it is exactly, but you can definitely see it, like the camera, she's like hopping over something, or like they have like an overhead shot of her and you could see her blue running shoes.
I mean, yeah, running in high heels is a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Been there, done that.
Definitely bitch. Yeah, same. I'm pretty sure there's not a single woman in this world who has previously worn high heels who hasn't ran in high heels.
At least once.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even just speed walked. It's the same.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible feeling.
I don't recommend it if you've never done it.
Yeah, especially if you've never done it.
If you've never had to do it and you can avoid it, do. Because it's a bitch.
I'm personally not a fan of high heels in general, so
I'll wear like a boot high heel like Higgy, but I won't wear like stilettos or anything like that.
Nah, sometimes boot high heels can be really cute.
Boots high heels. That I wear them. I wear them a lot in the wintertime, actually, like at work.
Usually in the wintertime. In the summertime, you'll find me not wearing any shoes most of the time.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that one. But I did notice that about her blue running shoes in that. And correct me, like, if any of you guys are listening and it's not that episode, correct me, because I'm 99% sure it's this one, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so if any of you guys...
Yeah, so she's done the rewatch a few days prior, so there might be some
inconsistencies, but yeah, so let me know if I'm wrong.
About the inconsistencies.
Yeah, let me know if I'm wrong, because sometimes the episodes mush together too, like if I do a rewatch and then I'm like, oh, wait a second, that actually didn't happen in that episode. But yeah, let us know.
I really like one scene a lot where they find the body and he goes to check for life signs and he's like, Magnum, that guy's obviously dead. It shows so wonderfully who these two people are. Not a
chap that perforated. That line.
And he's also very gray. So, like, it shows their personalities, their types of personalities so wonderfully. He's an idealist. He kind of is like, he could still be alive. I could help him. And she's sadly the realist in this moment. Like, he's like dead. One step away of rigor mortis. So
yeah, he's dead.
He's dead. He dead.
He dead. He dead for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing I love about when they're in the house, when she's trying to break into the laptop, and he's like, what am I? He's like, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, I don't know. You're the PI, like you're the private investigator. Investigate. Like, I just love the sass, and also when he's like, can you crack it? And she's like, yes, but not with you looking over my shoulder. Leave me alone to do my work. Again, just so shows their personalities. And I love it.
Another thing that showed their personality was just before that, because, Magnum just being the handy guy, the one that breaks in, and Higgins just like, I can't be asked to wait for Magnum to be done with this, so I'm going to round the corner, see if the patio door was open. Oh, it is. And then she gets the bragging rights, kind of.
Yep. Also, when Katsumoto's like, don't go in there. Right? Yeah! And she's like, didn't you hear what he just said?
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah. She's like, I love it. I just love their bickering so much. Every time we do a rewatch, every time we talk about an episode, you know that I'm gonna say I love the bickering because God, it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing.
I also loved a line that I never really noticed when watching it on a TV, and this time I watched it on Amazon Prime on my laptop with this fancy thing on it. For the first time, I heard Magnum say, "Come on, you know you want to."
At which point, when they're talking about when he's begging her to help?
No, it's like, did you hear what I just said? And he was inching back, and at one point he was like, come on, you know you want to. And we all do know that she wants to.
Oh, man. Oh. I love that. I love peeling away the layers of Higgins and that transition of her becoming his partner and getting back into the action. I love it. It's one of my favorite things too. I have a lot of favorite things.
Another thing that I really find interesting in this episode. Another thing that I really find interesting is her reaction to him having broken 3 ribs.
Yeah. She's like, it's not that bad.
It's just 3 ribs.
Just 3 ribs. And that begs the question. How many bones has Higgy broke? Right?
How often has she had broken ribs?
Because we know she's been shot a couple times, but has anything else happened to her? I'd love to find that out. Fingers crossed.
I hope we'll find that out. I hope we see a few flashbacks of her more interesting MI6 times.
Again, stick around because we have a little bit of news about potentially that as well.
Do we know?
Oh, we do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah. I also love... I noticed the sarcasm in that one because it was very obvious and very in my face. I love Higgy's bite back to Katsumoto when he tells him, next time you find a body, take a picture. And she's like, or he'll just drop it on your desk.
I love that line too.
Yeah.
It's just like, or you could just drop it on your desk. That's also accent, her defending him.
Yeah, it's her defending him. She does defend him quite often in these situations. Also, even in the early days. I love how she did that in the crossover episode with 5-0. It's just like, not my partner.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything wrong in that. Alerted the guys. What was he supposed to do? How was he supposed to know the body would start moving again?
For real though.
It's a dead person. You genuinely do not expect a dead person.
No, you find a dead body, it's not gonna go anywhere. Unless of course the mob's involved in it.
Yeah. So it was not the logical thing to take a picture of it and
email it to Katsumoto.
Because it technically shouldn't have gone anywhere.
I mean, yeah, let's be real here. Taking a picture would not have been my first idea. So I'm sure that it's not his first idea, obviously.
Also, what's it supposed to do? You can't check the gun's caliber on it. You can't check who the bloody fuck that dude is. You can't check if there's fingerprints or other stuff on it. So, you have a picture of a body. Cool. Yep. Someone has been killed, and that's about it.
Yeah, you're like, okay, cool. Someone got killed. Let me just go do the proper thing and tell the cops that it happened.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, someone got killed. In case you don't believe me, they have no reason to not believe they have no reason to not believe Magnum, so he has no reason to take proof.
Exactly.
Because the one thing he's always been truthful is about finding a body. Bodies. And he generally tries not to lie unless there's some valid reason
it's like to
involved.
Protect his client. If it's to protect his client, he might, but... And he would never do it to the point where, like, it would cause any harm or bad, right? Like, every time he does lie, it's so, like, he gets more time to solve it because it'll help his client, you know?
Again, he only lies if there's a valid point behind it, and that is not one of them. And so he does not lie about that. Also, seriously, Katsumoto, what did you think? Saying they should stay behind. Did you really think they would let you go alone? Like,
they literally look at each other and they're literally look at each other and go, "You go that way, I'll go this way." Yep. Like,
and even like you knew the moment he said that, they're like, "You're going to be tailed by your Ferrari, you dumbass."
Yeah. Like,
there's no way they're not tailing you. You're talking to a Navy SEAL who's literally trained to not leave anybody behind of his team, and an MI6 person who probably, again, is trained to work in a team.
Yeah.
You're not going to get away with being alone there.
No. And also you're with two very stubborn people who want to do the best, you know, or what they believe to be the best. And so, Katsumoto, I don't really know what you were thinking, but
it still has a little bit of getting to know them to do.
I was gonna say it's still fairly early on, so he probably like didn't really know what they would do. I mean, he probably had an idea, but he probably didn't 100% whether or not they were gonna.
He did not expect them to tail him, but then there's this wonderful moment that I kept being at the screen like, thank you for finally saying it. Word of advice: if you want to tail someone, don't do it in a red Ferrari. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Katsumoto. Yep,
it's so true, and it's the one
so
thing that
obvious.
Never sticks with them because Magnum does it over and over again.
Like, what are you thinking? It's a bright red Ferrari. Like, do you honestly think that you're not gonna get spotted? First of all, bright red. Second of all, Ferrari. You put those together.
Third of all, you're on a fucking tiny island. How many bright red Ferraris do you think there are?
Good point.
So on a scale of on a scale, there's like the chances of someone even figuring out that it's you just based on your bloody car are high.
Very high. Yeah.
How many bright red Ferraris can there be on Oahu? 10 at most, I think.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there can't be that many. Like, I was thinking about that actually, like, another day. I was like, oh, I wonder, in general, like, how many red Ferraris there could possibly be on Oahu, and probably not a lot.
Yeah, by the way, I've seen an originally colored Ferrari the other day, and I was so impressed. Because usually you see, like, either black or red, or sometimes even silver, but you don't see the original yellow anywhere anymore. So it was really like, a yellow Ferrari, whoa!
Because nobody has them anymore, right?
And nobody doesn't even know that. People don't know that Ferraris were originally yellow.
I actually didn't know until you told me a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about it. I had no idea.
But then again, it was someone from Ferrari driving that Ferrari, so you'd think they'd do it.
Yep.
Also, again, shows that Gordon doesn't exactly know his people yet. No hero moves. Seriously, Gordon, do you know who you're talking to?
You're literally talking to the definition of hero move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, two people who will definitely pull the hero move. And, of course, you go this way, I go that way. One of them finds the witness, the other one finds trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the troubled one is Magnum. Who's surprised? Of course.
Nobody.
Exactly. Nobody.
Literally nobody. And again, it shows how much Higgy cares
Yeah.
Right? When she starts to get worried, like, right away.
Yeah.
And then the hunt for Magnum is on.
I do love that we get this tiny scene of her calling TC.
Yeah. I think that is such a, like, growth moment for Higgy, because she's like, okay, I can trust this Ohana, you know?
Yeah.
And I can trust Magnum's friends, who are now becoming my friends, in order to go and save him, because he's my friend and he's worth saving.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. It shows so much growth.
And if they hadn't shown that, I mean, it's technically not necessary.
Nope.
You could just have her fly out with TC and Rick, but if we hadn't seen that, we could have been like, oh, probably Gordon called them because TC has the chopper. But we know it's Higgins who takes the initiative there. It's Higgins who goes like, okay, we're going to do this. Also because they're probably going to be faster than everybody else, which they were.
Yeah. But one thing I want to mention about that whole scene is
sequence.
They were searching for him all night, because when they go off after him, it's light out, right? When they're at the mill and everything, it's light out. When they find him, like, we see the darkness when Higgy is driving and calling and yada yada yada. And then when Magnum is found, it's the morning.
Yeah.
So it went from evening to all the way overnight to morning. So they searched for him all night? Or do you think that was like a kind of weird time thing in the episode that doesn't quite add up?
I think they looked for him overnight. I think the thing is, the Coast Guard wouldn't be able to look for him overnight or as efficiently. So they're just that people. So I think they refueled a couple of times already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they looked for him overnight, and then they found him just as they were about to
run out of fuel.
Yeah. Also, I just kept thinking during that fight scene, how strategically dumb is it to fight a Navy SEAL in his element?
Yeah, that was my thought too, actually. I was like, this guy is totally in his element. Like, he had Magnum drive the boat, which makes me think that the bad guy totally didn't know what he was doing out at sea.
Yeah.
Like, that you had to have your prisoner drive the boat.
I mean, on the other hand, though, it keeps the prisoner's hands occupied, and you don't have to pay as much attention to him in that position. So it's also not the dumbest move. It was just a dumb move to have the Navy SEAL prisoner do it, because he knows what to do with that boat.
Yeah, yeah. And we see it.
Yeah.
Again, we see Magnum's resourcefulness come to play, and he uses his training, right? And
don't fight a Navy SEAL underwater. You're gonna lose unless you're
a losing battle.
yourself.
It's a losing battle for you.
How cool though was the jumping into the water with the explosion behind them?
That was epic.
Yeah. Ooh.
That was really epic.
The entire underwater fight is one of the best fights, I think.
Yeah. I would love to see more of that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff would be cool. And I know Jay wants to see more of that kind of stuff too, because he did mention it in an interview. He was like, I love all that water, like underwater fight stuff. I got certified to do that stuff. So
wasn't it diving specifically that he got certified for?
Yeah, he got certified to dive so he could do the underwater fight scene.
Yeah.
So
I really want to find out if I can dive. Because one of my friends, she panics. Like, she in theory could dive, but as soon as there's water involved, nah. And apparently there's people with this kind of subconscious reaction. I really would love to figure out if I'm one of them.
I've done it. I was gonna go scuba diving, but then like, I did the whole like mini certification like in the pool beforehand, and I was fine. And then the day of, I don't want to say I chickened out, because like I didn't really chicken out, but I was kind of like, I don't really want to do it anymore, you know? But I regret it now. very much. Like, I really wish that I'd gone.
I think we know what we have to do in Hawaii then. Go scuba diving.
We definitely have to go scuba diving. We have so many things we have to do when we go to Hawaii, but...
No, we'll just stay there for like a year or so.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, I know. I know. Going back to the episode, Thomas Magnum's just a good egg, isn't he?
He is.
He could have let the dude just stay in the water, and he doesn't.
No, he also cares for him, right? He, puts him on the raft, and he, makes sure that he's okay, which, again, I probably would not have done, but hey, I'm not Magnum.
Yeah. We also got a little sneaky advertisement that I want to just repeat. If you guys like the way Rick jumped out of a helicopter to the water, you can actually do that on Oahu. You can actually do it from that helicopter. Just, I think you have to go for Trident Adventures, and they can hook you up with the Navy SEAL experience. So, if you want to do that, Oahu is your place. You can pretend to be Rick.
It would be so cool.
Yeah, way out of my price range, but
totally.
Very cool. Very cool.
God, I wish.
Yeah. Also, again, going to Oahu, how bloody cool is the background of the scene where he finds out that Mittens is back?
Oh, I love it.
That rainbow, the coloring of the sky is like perfection. You couldn't have had it any better if you tried.
So is Hawaii itself is perfection. I mean, we touched on it last episode, but yeah, it's perfection.
To this day, I'm still like, it could have been deliberately done, but at the same time, it also could have just been really good luck.
Yeah. I mean, there's like rainbows like every day in Hawaii, so...
And that coloring happens in Hawaii, so I'm like, okay, you could have just lucked out hot there.
Often. Yeah. Oh, such a beautiful place.
Yeah, we just gotta go to Hawaii.
One day we'll go.
We got a little bit of him healing from Hannah, I think, in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, he basically says it at the end when he asks her out, and she says, I think there's somebody you need to get over first. And he said, I'm working on it. And I think at that point, he's kind of realizing that he kind of has let Hannah go a little bit. But at that point, we don't know who Hannah is yet. But we know that there was somebody, but we don't know that her name is Hannah. We don't know what she did. But yeah, I think he started to heal.
Yeah. Okay, here's something that over the course of 3 seasons you get to find out. Sleep deprived Magnum is something else, isn't he?
Oh my god, yes.
He's much less open to bickering with Higgy. He's fighting a little bit more.
Yeah. He is.
You saw that this episode.
He's got a bit of a meaner side, does he not?
Yeah, he can be a little mean if he doesn't get his sleep, and which I can totally relate to. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm the same way. If I don't have my sleep, I am a grump.
I got friends that are like, they don't function before coffee. Doesn't matter when you wake them up, they don't function before coffee, and I am a bit of a morning person.
I am a morning person too.
So I'll get up and I'll be happy-ish as soon as I get out of bed. And I get on people's nerves with that a lot. You can relate to that. You're on the other side of me being happy in the morning sometimes.
I mean I'm pretty early too, like when we're, sometimes when we're talking it's like, 5:30ish for me, so I'm also a morning person. Yeah.
Oh no, you're making me yawn.
I'm sorry. It's late for me, but
it's only for me. It's 5:30.
Yeah, it's 11:30 p.m. for me. So we have every right to be yawning, I think, but yeah.
Okay. let's come to the big moment. The big moment of the episode. I think it's really the big moment of the episode.
Go for it.
The Aloha shirt.
Yes. It is so significant. Because basically he doesn't really wear Aloha shirts until that moment. And just a promise is a promise, and I thought this would look good on you, and just H, which I love.
It started with Juliet Higgins thinking an Aloha shirt would look good on him, and he just fucking runs with it.
He does. He really fucking does. And I love it. And that, mark my words, if they ever do end up as a couple, if Miggy does become canon, that will be one of their things. The Aloha shirt. I'm calling it now.
How?
I don't know. They will, like, she'll be like, remember when I got you the Aloha shirt? Yada, yada, yada. Or, like, he'll be like, I wear Aloha shirts because of the one that you gave me and it reminds me of you or something. Like, it'll be a thing between them. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. That would be super cute.
Or
her just randomly being like, that will look nice on you. Wear it.
Yep. Or we could also see him getting her like an Aloha dress.
A matching one. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And be awesome. Like, Higgy, this would look really good on you, and it matches my shirt, and I think we should wear it.
But how awesome are Aloha dresses, though? I really
oh my god.
Them. They're cuts usually, they're colored. I like Aloha dresses.
Yeah. I need them in my wardrobe. Yeah, he's got it covered already.
It's not an Aloha dress, it's a robe, but
it's very Higgins-like, so.
Thank you.
I love it.
I honest to God, I couldn't, I'm wearing the robe because I really couldn't be asked to really dress up this morning. I put a shirt on and I was like, that robe's comfy.
Well, it's very Higgins-like and it suits you, and
thank you.
I think we should next episode do like a Higgins wardrobe, which would be really fun. Now I'm thinking about it.
Okay, so guys, apparently next episode we're both cosplaying Higgins.
Which Eve will do 1,000 times better than I will because she's much better a cosplayer than I am.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, here's the real deal. Liz actually has clothes that look similar to Higgins. Meanwhile, I'm more of a Magnum person. I do wear Aloha shirts. I do wear random shorts. Especially now since I lost a little bit of weight during lockdown. I'm wearing shorts that I wore last time when I was 19. Because nothing else will fit me. And I couldn't get clothes for a long time during lockdown. Yeah, so there's that.
So maybe we'll do something a little fun.
Next time, Higgins cosplay. So
I just wish I had a blonde wig. Because
that guy.
Clearly I am not the person for Higgins with my red hair.
I mean, it's better than mine. I have chocolate brown hair.
I mean, mine is pretty dark too. You can see it's pretty dark, but I do have the Higgins headphones.
Yeah. And I got lucky. I already have a wig that works. Basically, because I want to cosplay Loki Sylvie, which I should probably start this weekend, but that's an entirely different story. So yeah, Aloha shirts. I should probably get myself more of them.
I want to dress. I definitely want to dress.
Yeah. Lava Hut, by the way, for everybody out there, Lava Hut has amazing Aloha dresses. And Aloha
I have a couple of their masks, like a face mask for like all the.
They're also gorgeous.
I have a couple of them.
I miss getting to wear a good-looking mask. We're still in that. You have to wear a surgical mask or mask with a filter mask. Otherwise, you're not allowed into stuff. We're not allowed here. We're not allowed there. I'm just like, there's in my city, there's legitimately not a single case. So I'm like, you could get away with just wearing a fabric mask here right now.
We can wear a fabric mask, but at work, like if you're working in the stores, you have to wear a surgical mask. Like I have to wear a surgical mask at work.
I have to wear one too, but I'm not wearing. I'm like stuck in the same room with the same people every day. It's not like that mask is going to do anything for us because we're breathing each other's air no matter what we do.
Yeah, I'm the exact same where I work, so. But yes, Lava Hut, I actually got my mask because of Perdita, because of that pink one that she was wearing on set, and I loved it so much.
Gorgeous one. Now that we spoke of set, let us come to the final part of the episode. Our episode, not theirs. So, as usual, we only just started it, but it's going to be a usual occurrence. If you don't want any spoilers from set, turn off. Turn this thing off. There's not going to be anything else on this episode after this. This is about spoilers. If you don't want them, run fast. Because we're going to start talking about the spoilers right now. Spoilers. Liz.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So they filmed Kenya on Tuesday and Wednesday. Didn't see very much of it, but it does look promising.
It does look quite accurate, I can tell you. We seen a little bit of the set pieces. I was surprisingly reminded of Kenya, even though it was shot on Hawaii.
Yeah.
In the Diamond Head crater.
Diamond Head crater, yeah. So we saw that. I sent a tweet to the writers asking if we would see young Higgins, and they replied with, "We have a plan." So again, this is them saying maybe, to have one of our main cast as children in a flashback, and then they put the little winky face. So I took that to mean that yes, we will be getting a Higgins flashback, but
Eve took it with a grain of salt and was like, they could just be full of shit.
Yeah.
And
Eve was very skeptical. Eve was very, very skeptical when I sent it to her.
It goes to show that we have a similar dynamic than Higgins and Magnum at times, because this is an idealist and I'm like painfully realistic at times. But also can be painfully idealistic and she can be the realist. Depends on the situation.
I think we're both a little bit Higgins and a little bit Magnum.
Yeah.
I don't think we can say one of us is more Higgins than not Magnum.
Yeah, but like that's sometimes we have their dynamic.
We do have that. It's fun.
Yeah.
So look out for potentially little someone. There was that. They did film the gala scene that we talked about, the casting call. I think we talked about it in the last spoilers.
We did.
So they filmed that scene. And Jay was on set, and Steven was on set, and Zach was on set.
We did not see if Perdita was on set. We didn't see her on set, so.
And she was also not tagged in the comment on the post that we saw. So that we have theories about that, but
it was filmed at the. Oh my goodness! How do you pronounce?
Temple?
The Bodo
temple.
Yeah, the Buddhist temple in Hawaii. Pretty as hell. 5-0 filmed there previously. It's Katrina Law was there with her kid, and her kid accidentally caught a dove. So yeah, that temple is definitely a destination.
Yeah. Exciting news. Betsy Phillips, Zach's beautiful wife, will be back as Susie. We're thinking episode 2 of this season. But again, there's no way to confirm that until we actually see it. But look forward to that because we did see it on Betsy's Instagram. So that'll be fun.
And maybe if we're really lucky, we get a tiny little glimpse of the baby belly.
Yeah, maybe. If they don't stick her behind the bar the whole time, maybe. But
even then, you could get the tiny lucky glimpse that they just missed.
Yeah, so we'll look out for that. Spoiler, not spoiler, depending. So Peter, who is the actor who plays
Peter Facinelli,
yes, who plays Ivan, posted a post from Hawaii.
Yay!
We don't know if he was just on vacation in Hawaii or if he's there filming Magnum.
Or maybe both.
So potentially, again, this is a big potentially, Ivan might return this season, which personally I've been waiting for.
Hopefully, give us a big bad.
Yeah.
Give us a big bad. Okay.
So yeah, hopefully that will happen, but we don't know. They also filmed, and we also think this is episode 2. They filmed at Kuala Ranch. I can never pronounce it properly. Eve always can. Yeah, there you go. Kuala Ranch. And what we saw was Steven was there with the Island Hoppers chopper. And yeah, that's what we have so far. If you guys see anything, if you guys see any spoilers between our episodes coming out, let us know. Because we love all the spoilers, and we're happy to talk theories and spoilers. And
yeah, there's a lot.
So if you guys want to throw some spoilers our way, we're never going to say no.
Certainly not. Except with their spoilers you're not supposed to have.
Right, yeah. But yeah, so that concludes the spoilers for this week.
Yeah. And that also concludes the episode for this week. As usual, you find us on Instagram, Magnum PI Podcast. Same for Twitter. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. And I just found out our podcast is also on Apple Podcast.
Woohoo!
Which is kind of weird because I upload the podcast. I just didn't know I uploaded it to Apple Podcast. So we're on Apple Podcast. Yoo-hoo!
Yay!
Surprise! So yeah, you can find us in these places, and you probably are listening to us in these places.
True.
So, see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.